Yeah, no, the rush hour shit's terrible. Even fucking St. Louis doesn't have rush hour as compared to fucking anywhere else, especially not.
Yeah, it's more the thing that is frustrating is people that drive terribly. Like, I get it, there's a lot of us there, but if you're just like really slow or looking at your phone and not keeping up with traffic, that's just because that's the biggest thing. There's just like everyone's so entitled that they don't have any consideration. Like, we're all going somewhere and it's like, well, no, I need to do my eyebrows, so fuck you. And it's just like, those are the people that freak me out. If everybody just stayed bumper to bumper and went somewhere, I wouldn't be bummed.
That's fine if they pay attention.
When you see 5 car links ahead and I'm like, really? You're going to leave 5 car links when it's bumper to bumper? Like, fuck you.
Oh, man.
Keep up.
Dude, I think about it now, like being removed from that normal 9-to-5 life kind of for, I don't know, over 10 years. And like not having to do with that, like not having to answer to an alarm first thing in the morning to go to a place I don't want to go, to sit in traffic in a flow of people who are bummed. Like, man, that's a lot of negative energy and bullshit you escape getting out of it.
Yeah, it's it's a disease.
Dude, then spend your first couple hours at work bitching about that.
Yeah, that's why I don't do it, because I feel like certain people, it's not as annoying to some people. Like most people that I see on the road, they're not that frustrated by it, but I am.
Yeah,
because I don't want to be
infuriated by it.
Yeah, I got to.
I feel like it's such a tremendous waste of time and energy.
Yeah,
and I'm insulted. Want to participate.
I'm insulted by the way you don't care about getting somewhere.
Yeah, just this like floating through at whatever fucking moderate pace.
I mean, it shows you what most people are doing with their lives. We drive like that, you work like that.
Yeah. Man, I started thinking about that the other day, like a correlation of like, if I'm going to go to the casino and fuck off, like if that's my thing, the type of person that's going to go play slots, I have very little in common with.
Right.
Like, you're not even in the game. You're just hitting a fucking button and letting it all take chance. At least I can pretend playing blackjack or something that like I'm involved in the outcome.
Yeah.
At least a fucking little bit. And like the people that can just sit there and be like, money in the machine and wait to see what happens. All right, I'll lose you. Oh, fuck.
Sorry, dude.
No worries. Professional broadcasting.
Fucking so many things are happening right now. It's a nightmare.
Just phones fucking exploding.
Yeah, it's just, I got meetings with Patreon for Hulk versus Wolf, podcast company for Hulk versus Wolf, and the Jason Ellis show. And I'm driving to LA to meet with somebody about having an agent for comedy, and there's just a lot of stuff happening all at the same time. I got a show to do,
so
same shit.
I've rebranded my podcast now to Not Dead Yet. And
yeah,
it fucking speaks a bunch to me. And like, so you're one of those guys that the reason I wanted to have on is like, I look at you as someone who's just always figured out the problem of like, how do I keep doing what I want to do for a living?
Yeah.
Like the 9-to-5 thing was never going to fucking be the way for you to have success.
No.
And so with all that, right? Like, I mean, you're deep into the career now of broadcasting. You've done the professional skateboarding and now leaning into trying a completely new career, which some bit of a foot in the water with what you've done on the radio, but comedy.
Yeah,
like how do you
it is a little similar. I don't want to keep reinventing. My body let me down for the first one. I really am just a skateboarder. I just want to be a skateboarder, but I'm too fucking old to be good. I can't take those shots anymore. So, fighting was just a hobby, and I always get a little too into it, but I've never thought about that as a career. I was just more like, I just love fighting. I love being terrified. I love scaring myself and conquering my fears, because it's still one of my biggest fears is fighting someone. It's such a big deal. It's not so much the pain. It's more just, I don't want to lose, that just sounds so bad to me that at all costs, I'll do everything I can to win. And it brings me, I rise, when it's fight time, I'm very switched on. I'm very fast. I'm very, I've done a lot of stuff that not many people would want to keep doing, So but
Well,
it's also it's
that
over.
part
I
with
mean,
the
that is
fighting, right? Like
it's not a
what
job.
like with the fighting or skating though, do you feel like that's where you're your sharpest? Like where you've trained
The
for a
fuck
thing and
yeah,
prepared?
yeah, because bodily harm, like real bodily harm, it wakes you up. You
Yeah.
know, like when you've got potential of real pain, you know, hospitalizations and stuff like that, when you know it, because it was different when I was younger. I think I just felt the adrenaline and I didn't really understand it. I just loved the adrenaline. But now, you know, the consequences are super clear to you when you do dangerous stuff now because one, I've actually been to hospital hundreds of times and I know what it's like to have to be in the ER and to
You
have
still go like a
rehab.
few times a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's got to stop.
Well, you've never come out of realizing that's weird. Like I like normal
Oh,
people
well, that's
don't
the
have to
thing
go to
I
the fucking
have. And
hospital.
that, like, I'm doing this one fight because the guy that wants to fight me, it's a good idea career wise. It'll help keep the show relevant. It's a good way to say goodbye to the fighting game, but I'm way past my prime, and my prime was never really a prime. I'm just a hobby, like a guy that, you know, I had to fight so hard to get here that fighting just makes sense to me. You know,
Sure.
it just resonates with the same shit I've always done. Like, you're not going to stop me, you know, like if it seems really terrible and hard to do, I'm going to do it.
You know,
I've already,
I find look ADD or whatever that is. I got a bit of
maybe.
it. No fucking shit. Um, the people that I'm, attracted to and interested in the way they live their lives seem to be similar to me in that aspect.
Uh,
And one of the things I liked about competing and throwing and all that is it required full fucking attention.
yeah.
And it was one of the only times that like I felt I had the ability to focus and get good at a thing. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
like all the schooling and stuff like that, like I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm fucking dumb, clearly. I can figure stuff out. But it has to be shit I'm focused on. And those moments of competing led me to believe that like, so it's there. Like I can focus.
All right.
It just has to be something I'm obsessed with.
All right. So I figured that out at a young age to, you know, because I wasn't a talented athlete. I just loved it so much that I put in the time and I got really good at it. So I didn't read it in a book. Nobody told me. I did it. So I knew it was a fact. So when it came to radio, when I first started doing it, I felt a natural ability to it. And I was like, imagine what you could do with the effort you put into skateboarding into something you're actually, like good at. Because in skateboarding, I was not good at it at all. I'm still not athletic.
You
I'm
know
just,
that's a relative idea based on the company you keep.
dude. I fucking grew up with two fat kids, and one of them was obese, and the other one was just like out of shape. And they were better than me for like the first 3 years. I
Well, how
wasn't
long
out
had
of
they been
shape.
skating at that point? Did you all get boards at
Same
the same
time,
day?
same time. We all got into it, and they were way better. And then I don't know, something just clicked one day. You know, I was not good. There was a bunch of people getting sponsored, and you know, I was just at the ramp content to every now and then I'd get a new board for Christmas or some shit. You know, like I didn't have a job or I didn't. I used to fantasize about being a pro skateboarder, but the talent wasn't there. And then just one day, I learned like I don't know 20 tricks in one day, and then the next day I was sponsored. People were talking about me. I just started learning more shit every day, and then I was the best guy in the country. And by the end of the year, probably because it just something happened. But I think I know what it is. It's I didn't believe in myself, and I went there so much and thought about it so much that every day I would think I was a little bit better. And if you go that many times, think that it's going to be a little bit better every time, just like an epiphany, my body woke up, not me, because I was not really there for that. Like my body just started making tricks, and I was like,
Holy shit.
"Oh my god, has anyone even done that in Australia?" And my friend was like, "No, dude, you're the first guy." And then I did like five more, and I was like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" But I think it was just the practice, and it all finally hit that I could actually do a couple of these things. And once I figured out I could do a certain level of shit, then every trick at that level became mine immediately. And then because of that day, the confidence made me think, well, what else could how far can I go? So I
Yeah,
think
that
it's just that
that
keep practicing.
self-esteem and confidence piece that people struggle with so much. Like,
Yeah.
There's some people that come with it because their parents figure out how to instill it. But for other
Yeah.
people that it doesn't come naturally, like if your parents don't have it and their parents didn't have it and you don't get it, you can build it. But it has
Yep.
to be done through those actions of fucking stuff up for a long time and realizing the consequences aren't that bad.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. If you're a tough kid, consequences that can deter certain kids, and there you go. That's the end of your journey. But if it's like motocross guys, and they usually had a bit of a rough childhood, because it's if you break your arm when you're 8, I mean that should tell you not to do that anymore. But if
Right.
there's a kind of person that breaks their arm when they're 8 and goes, man, how long till I can use this arm again to do the same thing I did breaking it?
Yeah, the juice is always worth the squeeze.
Yeah. So
Fuck it,
to
we'll break
me,
stuff.
I grew up a little bit tougher. So when I got hurt, I didn't register that as like a big deal.
But that was also, I mean, from listening to the show as long as I have and reading the books, like, but that was kind of part of the environment you grew up in too, was
Yeah.
pretty fucking rough and tumble.
Yeah. Everybody, my old man and all his friends were, drunk maniacs, they steal cars and go hunting, shoot boars and jump out in front of boars to like try to tackle them hand to hand and explode cars in the bush and fight people on the streets for cutting them off. Fights at nightclubs. Those were kind of the people that I looked up to. It was always this weird version of a man to me, was a half buzzed, rugged Australian man that said, I'm the fucking fastest person. Any car, any dirt bike, I'm faster than all of you. That was somebody that you would look up to when I was a kid.
Sure.
This guy's got it going on, like
Fucking
so.
Burnout King.
Yeah, no, dude, the Burnout King was he's a big deal. It was a big deal. I was a big shoes to fill. But so yeah, growing up thinking that was the only purpose in life, it's like a bogan Conan the Barbarian, where I was just taught that was, drink beer, smoke weed, fuck chicks, and jump shit. You know what I mean? Like that's what life is about. So it took a long time for me
What
to
parts of
realize
that have you kept? Because
yeah,
I mean, all that's still relatively true.
Yeah. I don't drink.
Yeah. But still jumping shit, fucking chicks, and fucking off. Yeah. All those things still rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
There's this other stuff in life as well, but those are still pretty cool. You know what? They're maybe they're not. I feel like I probably should stop those too. Really, I'm gonna stop fighting, and I'm gonna, and I'll probably skate.
Yeah, but when you got into fighting, you knew it wasn't a long-term game.
Yeah, but you don't. I never thought about retiring because I never thought of
doing it.
I was doing it. Yeah, it was just like more of I stay fit. My friends fight. What the fuck? Where am I going to go if I don't go there?
I mean, you built a way to fight.
What's that?
Like you built a way to actually do the fight thing by your terms. Like, do you know how fucking cool that is that you didn't just fall into trying to chase into a thing? You're like, well, I could fight, but we could still do the funny thing and put on our own show.
Oh, right. Yeah, because I never took myself serious as an MMA fighter because I have been at the top of the game in a sport. I know that there's tons of people that say they're pro skateboarders.
Right.
And then there's people like me. Like I was the real thing. And I knew hundreds of people that came and went with their bullshit smoke show of fucking, yeah, I'm a pro skateboarder. I'm like, you're not. There's levels to this, and you're not willing to die for it. And if you're not willing to die for it, don't go swinging your dick around here, man. I'll slap it off because it's not.
Yeah. Wrong.
So to me, in MMA, I'm very respectful because I realize people are like, oh man, he's a pro skateboarder and he's got that radio show and he fights. He's fucking sick fighter. No, I'm not. I am not a real fighter. I've only made weight 2 times. I haven't done it I haven't had fucking 15 pro fights. I haven't fought anybody that like if he I don't know. It's just not the same. It's never been if I lose this fight, then I won't get my sponsors to pay me and then I'll be homeless. It's
Yo,
never
that's fucking
been
scary. That's a different level.
I've never did it for the check ever. Like the last check I got for one was good. They gave me double for because the fight was really cool. So I think I made 10 grand and that was awesome. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
God,
that's cool as shit.
I was pretty much doing that for free. So King of the Cage gave me 10 grand. And I remember thinking, holy shit. But I also, holy shit, I'm not coming back next week. You know, I got shit to do. That fucking hurt.
Dude.
It fucking hurt, dude. That was like, I was really sore after that fight.
How long is that recovery? Like post fucking
well,
fight? I mean, look, if there's a war.
It changed the shape of my face.
Oh shit. Like permanently. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got hit a lot. And my just like my temple and my jaw kind of, I think I cracked something. Like my head got bigger on one side. It became, I haven't given up. Yeah, my face got kind of fucked up. I got a concussion, you know what I mean? Because I almost got knocked out. But apart from that, I mean, I had some cuts on my face. So they kind of heal quicker when that's the other thing. It was more of a traumatic experience because I was almost unconscious and that made me real tired. So then when I started to regain consciousness to fight back, I was like, oh, whoa, I'm really tired. I hope I can defend myself from this man, you know, putting me in the spirit world. So it was like nerve-wracking shit. But the healing was pretty quick, really.
Okay.
That's the thing. Compared to skateboarding, I know people are going to hate this, but skateboarding is fucking way harder, way more pain, way more. You know, you can work on a fucking spin kick for a year. You ain't going to hurt yourself working on it. You know, like you. Well, yeah. You know, it's more like when you actually fight, people hit you with stuff that, you know, you basically you know what I mean, you're blocking baseball bats. So if that goes for 15 minutes, you're going to be sore the next day.
Yo, the fight thing scares me so much.
But the skateboarding, but like dropping it on Tony, like I fucking fell in Utah the other day and hit my head. How long ago was that? A month ago. My neck is still fucked.
Well, you're
like
also
I'm fucked.
Cruising around at what, 50?
Yeah, I'm 51 on Saturday.
So what are you finding now that you have other tools that like actually help you fucking recover faster?
Oh, cold plunge.
Yeah, that thing's fucking unreal.
That's the number one thing. I mean, I do sauna and, you know, I got a bunch of stupid CBD creams that I rub on my neck and stuff, or ice pack. I got a heat pad. But really, it's, you know, it just takes so much longer to heal now when you're 50. And it's also, you know, I got kids, my wife, you know, man, if I'm like hobbling around for a long period of time, I'm pissy. I'm hard to deal with. And that's not fair for
you're
everybody
an
else.
And like, that's the fucking worst feeling in the
everybody.
world.
Yes, I know.
Because
and
I believe chase whatever the fuck you want, but you can't cause negative consequences to the rest of the fucking people around you.
And that's where it is, you know, like the last time I got knocked out, my kid was like, you know, do you have to keep doing that? And I was like,
oh man,
yeah. I'm like, I could, you know, I could slow down, but you know, skateboarding is sometimes you can take it easy and it can still jump up and bite you, you know? So I told him I really want to do a 540 one more time. And I talked to Tony Hawk about it and he wants to do one more time. He's like, let's do it the same day. And I'm like,
he wants to do one more 540.
Yeah, he's done, dude.
Well, yeah, that leg break's fucking, dude, breaking a femur so gnarly.
At 53, 54.
Jesus Christ. And it's not like I would imagine the rest of that skeleton looks great.
Nah, when they went in there to put the titanium rod in his leg, they also stapled his hip back together because it was coming apart from a prior injury.
Oh.
So he's way more stable now, I guess. But yeah, where he's, you know, he still hobbles. That's the thing. It's like these days you hurt yourself and it's like that's kind of the rest of your life. You know, like I hit my neck so hard the other day when I got knocked out in Utah that I wouldn't be surprised that every time I look left and right for the rest of my life, it hurts.
Something.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like I'm prepared for that.
Is this all with the big return of vert skating that we're seeing now?
Yeah, yeah. And I've been getting hurt a lot doing that because when you take a big break and you get back in there, it's a dangerous place to come back to. It's kind of like retiring from professional bull riding and then in your 50s doing a little bull riding with your friends. Like
Casual bull ride.
Those fucking shoulder blocks they're not the same, man. They do something different to me now. I get up and I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I here?
How fucking like picky are you now about like I skate that ramp. That's the ramp I skate.
Oh yeah, I skate one ramp. Yeah.
Yeah, the ramp.
Yeah. Tony's ramp is the only skate. Oh, one time I did a trick tip at the Vans ramp and I did the most basic trick I could do and left immediately.
Yeah, like, I just can't be allowed to hang out there too long.
Fuck no.
No, I get
hurt enough on Tony's ramp, let alone some other ramp. Yeah, so that's kind of over.
Yeah,
but once I do that 540, I'll definitely back off on pushing it because I'm just trying to push it because I want to get, I got to push it before because at 540, you do that wrong, that'll kill you, especially at 50. So I want to do that right when I make it, when I go for it, and then I'll back it off. Just do some grinds and some airs.
So like as those lives and fucking chapters change, man, like you had a long time removed from skateboarding, especially skateboarding with this group of fucking peers.
Yeah.
That in all seriousness, I would imagine you're like, so that'll be we'll never do this again.
Yeah, I thought that for sure. Yeah.
And so now getting this time to be back with this Legends section you guys are calling it.
Are we?
Yeah, I thought that's what it was called. Was it Legends?
Oh, the demo, the Legends. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Which is your crew. You guys should just be pricks and call it that.
Yeah. I don't know if I was there. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man.
I don't know about Legend.
But how does it feel getting back, like having that again now?
I love it. I feel like it's emotional, actually, because it's such a, we're gonna die soon. You can tell when we all look at each other. We look worn out, Matt. We look worn out, which is a sign. It means that it's in 10 more years from now we're going to look even more worn out, and some of us are going to start dropping off. So,
oh man.
It's like, and falling off there, you get so hurt. So it's there's a lot more respect in all of us trying stuff and still skating. It's more like every time we do something, people are like, fuck yeah, man. Like putting it on the line at 50, when you got to pick your kid up from school. Like it's ballsy shit. People don't realize sometimes on a Tuesday morning, I'm putting it all on the line, all of it.
So out of that group that's down there and skating, like who's the least beat to shit and who's by far the most haggard?
I gotta be one of the most haggard for sure. I mean, Tony's fucked now, like fucking crippled ass, hobbling around the metal pole in his leg. So I'm probably better off than him right now. Kevin Staub, he broke his femur like a couple months ago as well.
God damn, all you guys at the ramp?
He's 55. That was one of our guys. So he's crippled. And then Lincoln can still skate. I mean, Bucky's almost as old as us. He might be, but he's still good enough to win a pro contest. So he's probably he's probably the best. He's not probably. He's him and Bob Burnquist. Bob's getting old too, and Bob still can do shit that nobody can do. So I'd say Bob and Bucky are their best. Danny's trashed. He can barely walk.
Put it on the line, man. Watching his documentary, all of those things recently have just been. I love all that shit.
He still thinks he's going to do something else. Like it's not over.
Well,
if you ask him, he'll tell you that in the near future, he's going to do this thing on a skateboard that no one has ever done. And I kind of believe him. He can't walk.
Did you watch any of like 100-foot wave?
Yeah.
So like that guy, like McNamara, the dude chasing that thing.
Yeah.
Like him or Laird. I look at those guys, and one of the thoughts I think is like, or Alex Honnold, right? The free solo guy with the climbing shit. those
Mm.
guys made an okay a long time ago that they'll probably end up drowning or falling off a rock.
Yeah.
Like that's how the story goes.
Yeah, man, because you
Because you
put
love
that
it.
much work into it. You don't know who the fuck you are without it.
No, and not
You
only
know?
that, like you love it.
Yeah, like radio saved me from probably, becoming depressed and killing myself from not being a high level pro skateboarder. Like I filled the void. That's why I fought. Like, and that's why, I started training in my 30s. I was old, like 38 or something. And I trained like I was fucking 17. I trained harder than people that was their job. Like I've been in many fight camps where people are like, you might not be the most talented, but you train as hard as anybody else in this room because I had to fill the gap.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
Effort's
like people
relative.
don't realize what it's like to be on the top of something that's just like high level. Every time you go, huge consequences if you go wrong. But when you've been doing it for 20 years and that's all you know, and then all of a sudden it's just like not an option. And also like when like the ego, people don't fucking care who you are anymore.
No one gives a
They
shit.
don't give a shit that you used to be good at skateboarding and
Yeah.
you're not hanging out with skateboarders anymore. So now you're just some dude.
But
And
also
it's a
being the old
fucking
dude trying to hang out with, like, there's a point where you're supposed to have moved on.
yeah. Yeah, that was the thing that helped. I left and just started doing radio and then coming back, 15 years later, I'm happy everybody's better than me.
Yeah.
But I wasn't at the end. And the tail end of my career where younger people were coming up, I fucking hated it. Because I'd be like, man, 2 years ago, I wiped the floor with your ass. But I can't because I blew my MCL out and I didn't get a surgery. So I fucking blew the fucking ankle out. And then my wrist doesn't really work and I can't raise my arm above my head. So I'm still competing, but you're just a fucking mess, like drunk all night because you can't, the pain, high all day, painkillers to the point where I was just like, just bitter.
Fucking chronic pain's a fucking brutal route for anyone.
Chronic pain when you're 32 is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what fucking sent me in a weird way too.
Right. But but then the mentality that got you there in the first place. That's why I believe that, if you've done it once, you can do it again. So that's why I just thought, maybe it's not as glamorous and as much, nothing's going to beat flying around in the air on a skateboard. And I'm right. Nothing will, but
nothing's a better experience.
No.
Mega
ramp. I've done a 20-foot backside air and I've done a fucking 60-foot backside 360 and everybody can suck my dick. No, I don't care what anybody says about me. Have you done a 20-foot backside air?
No,
above a 30-foot high ramp? Like it was the greatest feeling. I felt like I was flying,
Yeah.
Once you get past the fear of it, because the first couple, the wind hits your eyes and makes your eyes water before you hit the kicker.
Jesus Christ.
And it's fucking scary because you're not quite sure you can see it right. You're like, oh, and then boom, and you just start rocketing into the air and you're like, oh. But once you get past that by doing a few of them, then you can just be in the air and just, like look around for a second.
Unreal.
Yeah, it's the coolest feeling. That's the end of it.
Man, whatever that feeling is for people, like I hope they find it.
Yeah, and I hope it doesn't need to be a fucking mega ramp too.
Yeah.
It'd be so much better if you could get it from reading a book.
Jesus Christ, I can't even imagine that. Well, I have to assume it exists, but I can't fucking imagine.
Fuck yeah, it does, for sure it does.
Like I got mine throwing fucking rocks in a field or any of that. And like there's a handful of competitions and throws that like really stand out of like hitting a big one when it counts.
Yeah.
And then like knowing before you had the chance to hit it of like, fuck you. Like it's mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's no fucking better feeling in the world.
Yep. That's all.
Yep. It's the fucking best. It's really hard to try to figure out how to apply that to building a business or any of the other things.
You got to fall in love with it. You got to find ways to fall in love with it.
That's it, right?
That's what I think.
And everything else, man. Like you've written 3 books now?
I didn't write them. I just said it. Somebody wrote it down.
Well, that's still information from you, like your story.
Yeah.
How do you feel looking back at the difference in the books as like you've grown older?
A bit cringy.
Oh, that's good though.
I feel like younger me was so desperate to tell the world my story. I was so insecure. I just wanted to be famous. I wanted everybody to love me. So, I try to push out all the, they loved I did heroin with prostitutes, and they left me in a park, and the book company was like, oh my God, like more of those stories. And I was like, oh, okay. So, wanting to be famous and for everybody to know me, I told more stories about all these bitches that I fucked, and then and then in the new one, about all the dicks I sucked. And it's
Yeah, you're
just,
just covering both ends of the spectrum of the fan base.
yeah, I thought people wanted to. I thought people wanted to hear about how many dicks I sucked as well, but they
Less.
didn't. No, wait, nobody likes my new book,
I disagree.
which is probably for the best because
Dude, I tell you what, I like the new book more than I like the first one.
okay,
But I like you, and I like the whole evolution
right.
of the story.
Well, I feel like I was still pretty new. I haven't read it, but I feel like I would definitely probably write a different one now, because I think at that time I was still I was in therapy, and I was having sexual encounters that involved um, a lot of the damage that happened as a child. Like, I was reacting to that.
Mm.
So I was doing things that I would not necessarily. I'm okay. I can live with it. Like, yeah, I did. I fucked everybody, and everybody fucked me. I don't care. But I look back on it, and I feel a bit cringy and a bit sorry for myself, because you're just reacting to all the damage that happened in your childhood, and then you're writing a book and telling people about it. It's like, I'm not doing what I was doing in that book anymore, and I don't want people to think that that's how I am, but that's the last thing that I did on paper. So if you did get that, you'd be like, Jason's on Grinder all day putting his dick in glory holes. It's like,
Yeah,
no.
but that's why you have the option to write another book. You always can. It doesn't
Yeah.
make those wrong. Like, it doesn't make your past not true to who you were at the time.
Look, if things turn around, sure, but I'm just not that popular anymore. And I'm okay. I'm okay with it. It's just
Well, I
there's no
mean,
hype behind Jason Ellis anymore.
when do you think it was at the most?
I think maybe on the radio when I was married. I think getting a divorce, then coming out as bisexual, and I think I speak to like a macho audience. Sirius XM, you listen to it in your car. It's blue collar. I'm talking about, I mean, this guy looked at me the wrong way, I fucking knocked him out, or everybody showed me their tits and I did blow off her vagina, and
Mhm.
it's like hell yeah, brother. And that's cool. I love burnouts and racing bikes and all that stuff. But I had a daughter, and I realized that I was chauvinistic, and that my dad rubbed off on me in ways that I'm not proud of, and it's very difficult to shrug them off. And when I came out as bi or pansexual or whatever, I got a lot of friends that are trans or gay, and I see how society hurts their feelings all the time. And you'd be like, "You're fucking toughen up," and I'm like, I don't have to do what you all think I have to do. I feel sorry for people that are picked on. I feel, as somebody that is, well, I'm a big, strong guy. I got money. I can take care of myself. But when people say, I used to listen to you until you came out as a fag or whatever. It doesn't ruin my day. It's just,
No,
I
it's a fucking
feel,
bummer though, man.
I feel like if I was 12 or 18 and I was hearing this, that it would really affect me. And I just don't understand why people have to get mad for me trying to defend those people, like, toughen up. And I'm like, what if you're not that tough? Because sometimes we're all not that tough. So instead of just always making fun of it, I try to be on the other side of it. And I think that lost a lot of fans. Not being on Sirius, moving to podcasting. People that listen to Sirius don't podcast.
No,
So it's not as big.
which is fucking
Um,
crazy to me. I can't honestly understand how that business model has managed to stay around. It seems so fucking counterintuitive to anything I've seen technology do in the last 10 fucking years that I just don't get it.
But that's the audience. They bought it. Most of them bought it when Stern moved there. So, they were already older people,
Yeah.
and they, now they figured out how to pay for radio, and they just keep it. You buy a new car, Sirius comes with it. I think podcasting is still, some people like, I get messages when I move to podcasting, like, how do you use it? What is, how do I download this? And
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
very difficult. They're finding it very difficult.
It's all on Spotify.
You get in your car, you turn it on, there's Jason.
Yeah.
Those are the fans. And now it's like, I've got to type fucking Jason Ellis into Google, like, fuck that. Like,
Yeah, or be part of the Patreon or any of that type of stuff, right? Like, I mean,
well, the Patreon does really well for how big the podcast is, and I think it's because a lot of the fans were used to having a pay for service.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that would be a stretch. Like, if I tried to go to a Patreon right now, no, like, fucking, my audience would probably be like, probably not.
I don't know. That's the other thing. I don't know how any of that works.
That's true. From the world it is now, like, all I know is, as far as like hustling and finding work and creating content to make a living from, I don't give a fuck if you're doing OnlyFans or podcast. It's work.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to make a living, good. Yeah. But the fucking doors are open now that, like, you don't need some old fucking dude in a suit to agree with your idea to make a living out of this.
Yep.
And I fucking love that side of it.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of work.
Fucking answer to anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps it'd be fucking easier, but, like, I did the regular fucking job career thing.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
I know it's not. I'm bored to tears. I'm definitely not my best, and I get really shitty, and I'll find ways to be self-destructive.
All right. Yeah, me too.
Not fucking ideal. I do a lot better focused and kind of tired. Too much energy is fucking no good either. Man, it bums me out to hear that the audience changes that much, and
it's not that big of a deal. I'm not trying to. I hate. No.
It bums me out that people are still that way, because I don't surround myself with anyone like that, and so it's easy for me to think it's less than it's always been, but it isn't.
Yeah.
In fact, people are probably more divided and divisive right now than it's fucking ever been. Which bums me out too, because, like,
that's what I think. That's for sure.
That's the plan that's being run on us. Like, to some fucking extent. Like, I just trying to take away any bonkers ass conspiracy ideas of any of this shit. I just, like, what YouTube or anything else has taught our media companies is that we respond more to negative shit.
Yeah.
And so why wouldn't they use the same tactic to make us watch their thing?
See, that's probably
a thing advertising.
That's probably a thing that cost me too, because I used to be one of them. I used to be, always fuck this person, fuck that person. And the show's not so much about that anymore. Now that I'm, like, trying to defend people, the shoe's on the other foot. I'm like, man, if I'm trying to defend these people, I probably shouldn't go after other people.
That's fair.
So the show is less about, hey guys, have you seen how fucking, stupid this guy looks? It's more about,
so many shows
look how cool this person is.
Do that shit, right? Like, whether it's Rush Limbaugh or he's
just
dead.
It's just easy. It's basic. It's just fucking caveman-esque. I just feel like I'm smarter than that. Like, I just don't. I want to be like, look at that guy's shoes. I'm like, when I hear that word, the sentence come out of my mouth, I'm like, shut up. Like, who cares about his fucking shoes?
Yeah.
Like, stop worrying about what. Yeah, because I used to be like that. And now it's just like, I don't know, you wear whatever the fuck you want. If it makes you happy, you're I feel like that's the change now. Like, I see people that wear stupid shit, and if they're confident with it, I immediately back them. Like, I'm like, look at this fucking dude with these suspenders on or something. But you can tell he's like, fuck yeah, look at my suspenders.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy rules.
Yeah, if you fucking own the avatar, it's a totally different thing. You can always tell when someone's doing it for the reaction and not because it's them.
Yep.
And the people that do it for them, fucking go nuts, be silly. I don't give a shit. Yep. It's the other one that, like, you're doing it for a response.
Yep. It's tough because people recommend you do that these days.
how like raising kids in
Mhm.
LA and like with as weird as social media is, and your kids, I mean, more or less having a bit of a public life from being attached to you
Mm,
to some
I
extent.
wonder
Like
about
I
that.
fucking know your kids' names and I shouldn't, you
All
know what
right.
I mean? Like
Yeah, fair enough.
over 10 years, whatever of listening or any of this type of stuff. But like, how weird do you find it with all the social media stuff, just raising kids in general? Like crazy it is compared to the rules you grew up with or I grew up with. Fuck, I'm
Oh yeah. I
a
mean,
decade behind you.
I don't know. I'm just honest with them, you know? I feel like there's good and bad out there on the internet, off the internet. You know, like you're gonna make decisions that maybe weren't a good idea sometimes, and if you learn by them, that's it. So we're not really that strict, and they're not really that crazy. You know, they've never really lost themselves in any of that shit. My daughter doesn't believe in any of that shit. You know, I feel like ever since they've seen people react to me, I've always sort of explained to them how ridiculous that is when you think about it, you know, because I'm like, you know me as dad. I'm just some dude. And
Yeah.
this guy's freaking out over here because he heard me on the radio.
Right.
And then he goes about his day and he doesn't think about me anymore because it doesn't really, at the end of the day, mean shit. And I feel like seeing it firsthand took the glamour away from it. You know, like I don't. It's never. It's more awkward. You know, like if I go to the Supercross and people want to take photos with me, and my kids are standing there, and these people are acting like the kids don't exist, and my
Right.
kids are looking up at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with this dude?" And I'm like, people get excited about stuff, dude. But you know, at the end of the day, you know me, and it's
Yeah.
I'm not Superman.
No, man,
I
I
don't
find
fight
you to be a
crime.
really regular guy as much as I guess that's not fucking fair. Uh, I mean, but yeah, I fucking like lunatics. Especially I like lunatics that want to become aware. And like
Right.
everything you're even saying, right? Of like, oh man, I know I used to say shit like that, but like now there's a flinch. And like you have to fucking not ignore that flinch if it's there.
Right.
You know, that feeling of like, man, I shouldn't say that type of shit. I always,
Hey man, can I call you back?
yeah, you got some shit.
Yeah, I got fucking another meeting right now. I'm getting harassed by Tony. I got to jump on.
Yo, let me just wrap up real quick and we'll just do another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheers, Jason. Thank you, man. Go do your thing.
Thanks, Matt.
Brother,
Sorry.
we'll chat again
Sorry.
soon, man. I'll come out and come see you. Boy.
Oh, good day.
Yeah, I've just been straight getting my ass kicked since I got up this morning, so it's been a joy.
What happened?
So right now I've got my operations manager, Tom, fucking incredible dude, really kicks ass. He decided
Okay.
he wants to since he does work remote, like fuck it, I can work remote. I should be able to figure it all out working from the Philippines for a month. So it's been a challenge.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like that would work as smoothly as you think.
Of course not, but he's 25 and
Ah, there you go. Say
he
no more.
needs to learn.
Yep.
You know, I'm very much a I don't know, boss manager style of like, you don't need me to explain it to you. Go figure it out. Like if you think
Right.
you can do it, it's possible. People fucking pull it off, man, but it isn't just easy.
No.
So, best of luck. I'll work with you through it, but fuck me.
Uh,
Just woke up to exciting morning of that and then like if I could try to go for a bike ride to train this morning and just did a piss poor job of getting any of the shit I need to go ride. It was colder than I wanted it to be on the bike and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Fuck.
yeah.
Just one of those days of like, I'm gonna just go and start over and do less.
Yep. I totally get that.
Some days the universe is like, probably chill out, man. This isn't we're not working together.
Yep. Yeah, I think I had a couple months of that for
Yeah.
a minute. Just
No,
kept
man.
coming at me. I was like, wow, what the fuck? Did I do something wrong that I don't know about? I'm paying for it? Because I feel like I'm a kind of nice guy and shit just seemed to be falling apart everywhere.
It's these
And
like
all these new
little
jobs, I
things
was
too.
just like, man, yeah. But little things when you're like, everything is up in the air right now, and then another little thing and another little thing, you're like, I start to feel like it's not going to end. I'm like, is this
Right.
going to is this it now? Like,
This
is it
is how
just
it
like,
is.
yeah. But we're coming out the other end. I had some good meetings yesterday, and
Oh, good, man.
yeah, got some Hawk versus Wolf is coming out soon on Patreon. Tony and I are going live on Instagram on the 10th on my birthday to tell everybody about it and tell
So the whole
everybody
show
about.
will just be on Patreon now.
No, both. We got a new podcast deal, which is a lot more work. So I'm more worried about Tony because I don't mind doing it, but um, they want to book big celebrities. They want us to come to LA and record more than one at a time. They don't want to do 3 a month. They want to have 4 a month, which means that's more work for Tony. Like Tony can barely do 4 episodes a month, and now he's going to do 5. And
And he's in Temecula. Yeah, Temecula, right? Like he's
he's in San Diego.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And so now he needs to come to LA as well.
Well, he drives to LA for dinner and shit, dude. He's like he and I are the only people that I know that don't bitch about driving. Everybody else around here is like, Hermosa Beach, dude, I'd love to come, but it's in I'm like, it's 40 minutes, you lazy fuck. Like, just come down. But
Well, being in the car is not the worst at all.
That's what Tony says. He's like, these people bitching about driving to LA. Like, he's like, I go to LA for dinner sometimes. Like, I don't
You're
care.
sitting in the car by yourself, listen, like not someone touching you or talking to you or fucking prodding at you.
And Birdman's got the self-driving car too, so he's just on the phone and shit doing business.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's stoked.
Speaking of cars,
yeah,
you've had a variety.
yeah.
And like not only that, like I've thought not only having a variety of cars, like you've given a shit to make them yours. Like a lot of people just buy a thing and it's like, that's what we got.
Yeah, but that's because I think I'm special, Matt.
Well, I mean, if you're not gonna think you're special, mate, who the fuck else is?
That's how I see it.
That's how I see it too. Like, if I can't fucking like, no one's gonna have to talk me into it.
Yeah, I don't want to have your car. I want to have my car.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I don't want to see like I got that car, and I didn't really like the last car I got. This green M3. I was like, it's kind of cool, and then my son sent me a video of the car and saying how cool it was, and I was like, okay, I made the right choice. I don't think I'm gonna dress this up at all. I just like the way it looks. I love the way it handles. And then somebody on the freeway had one and drove up next to me, like, "Hey, look, we have the same car."
And I was like,
fuck off. Like, I don't want to know you. Like, go away. I'm the reverse of. We're not M3 buddies, dude. Like, I don't want to be your buddy. Get out of here.
I run into the same feeling, like, especially since most of the goddamn clothes I wear are shit I've made. And so it's now also basically everything Bonnie has is the same stuff. And there's like occasionally, like if she comes downstairs after me and we're matching, like, nah.
That happens to Katie and I all the time.
Yeah, I can't do the thing like
not only
field trip.
Not only do we wear your clothes, but we've also bought t-shirts and leggings and hoodies that are the same, and every now and then we'll come downstairs and we both have it on, and I'm like, that's different. I'll dress like her, but I don't want to dress like anybody else.
Yeah. Totally.
I think it's cute when we both have the same clothes on.
Just cooked out.
Yeah, I'm like, cool.
I fucking love it, dude. Being weird as shit. Yeah. I think the first vehicle that I remember seeing you probably was with the radio shows, like the Apocalypse 6000.
Yes. Was it a 6,000? I think Apocalypse 3,000, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that was the first. I didn't have any money still, so my skateboard life. I made enough to get a truck, so I would always get a truck because I rode dirt bikes and definitely didn't have enough money for 2 cars. So you got to have a truck because if you go to the track, you can't get to the track with the bike without a truck. That's so fair. It was a truck life for most of it. There was a time there when I first got a deal with ESPN and I got sponsored by DC Shoes and I got an agent and a manager and all that jazz. And they're like, why don't you get a new car? And I was like, I don't know. Can I afford it? He's like, dude, you could get a BMW S45. And I'm like, what is that? And then he showed me, and then I bought a secondhand one. So that was the first expensive car that I ever owned. I had a Pug that had a gold chain on with a diamond G around his neck, and the 745 IL, and it was a really cool car. And then,
Like, how fucking
then
upgraded did you feel?
it was all my friends that were like Colin McKay and all the other successful guys would laugh every time I'd come over to the house because they were like, "Holy shit, Ellis has an a BMW that is not a jank. Like it's actually a good one." So yeah, those were great. That was a great era for me. I had a blast every day. It was always go to the ramp, go party. You know, like just didn't seem like no worries. I had no worries. You know
No
what I mean?
worries.
Like there
There's
was
no real stress.
I didn't pay taxes. I wasn't even aware that there was taxes. I was just like, thanks for the money, and didn't.
Meanwhile, your manager said, "Go buy BMWs." Thanks, bud.
Yeah, well, actually, that I ended up they didn't pay my taxes, and I didn't know. I thought they were paying them, and then my kid's mother, she found a letter saying, "Hey, I think you haven't paid your taxes." And I go, "That's impossible. I have a business manager and a manager." And turns out I hadn't paid him for like 5 years,
Oof.
and I owed $250,000.
Jesus Christ.
So then I had to sell my house. It was the first. I bought a house. I had to sell the house, pay off the taxes, and then penalties. I had to pay penalties on top of it every month for not paying taxes. So that was a big lesson. And then my girlfriend got pregnant. So
Right.
it was like you're broke, you owe money, tax man wants you, you lost your house, and you're a dad. And I remember, that wasn't the plan. It was more of
fuck no. I bet not.
I was like, really? I'm like, well, whatever you want to do, I mean, I'll stand by it. And she was like, I want to have it. And I was like, whoa, okay,
right.
I'm a dad now. But it was a good thing because it actually kind of, I think that was the biggest awakening I've ever had in my life to this day.
Well,
like when
you're sure as fuck not here without it.
Yeah, when Devin popped out, I was like, okay, it's not about me anymore, which actually made it easier because, just worrying about yourself all the time. That's what I would do. I'd always worry about what's next. How much longer can you skate? Because I knew that was not going to happen much longer.
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Hey, can you go? Like, can you listen to her? Sorry, dude. It'll be like half an hour. Okay. Okay. Sorry.
No worries. What other fucking fun vehicles? You had the turbo Porsche for a bit.
Yeah, Thomas Hayden Church sold me his turbo Porsche, and it was all tricked out. It was like 600 horsepower.
Jesus.
And it was, again, that was when Katie and I, we were still going out and, valeting at places. And I was, that was the first time I was ever, people would recognize me. Oh shit, it's Jason Ellis. I'm like, no way. I was like kind of famous, so that in a weird, like B grade way, but still for me it was pretty famous. And Katie and I were invited to things, and driving around in a turbo Porsche and doing all kinds of stuff around the car because Katie and I are weird like that.
Yeah.
Those were. I mean, that was probably until now that was my favorite car that I've ever had in my life. But I really like the car I have now.
Now the BMW is still driving that.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. I love I love driving it every day. If I get to drive, I have a good time. It's just fast, handles like a go-kart. It's got 2 seats in the back so the kids can come. It has and it's manual, so.
Oh, fucking hell.
Just more fun for me.
Man, I think that little bit of like having a vehicle you actually enjoy driving is a fucking bump in happiness.
Fuck yeah. Especially if you work and use it all the time.
Yeah.
Every time I get in it, bad day, good day.
At least
I'm in a race.
Fun,
I'm kind of in a race car. It's pretty hard to have a bad day.
Like fuck, man. Like my truck, I fucking love it. It's a big, fucking ridiculous, stupid truck. And
is that the one you're giving away?
Yeah. It's done. Like I finished the build, right? Like there's nothing else on it I want to change or mess with, and I've driven it for a year as is, and I still don't want to change anything. So like it's time. That project's over. Time to move on. So
I gave my truck to a friend of mine, and then some fan showed me it was on the internet for sale, and I was like, dude, I'm not that well off. Like I gave you that because I thought you had no
needed
car.
help.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, that's a friend just stole it and sold it. And I was like, you don't want to fucking call him and say, can I have it back?
A
So it was all
friend.
bullshit. I just got
Yeah.
rolled for it.
Ah, that's a fucking bummer, dude. I hope that doesn't happen with this one. I think I'm just gonna offer
I'm
like,
not giving my yeah. It's a fan. See, that's what I wanted to do. I actually wanted to give that
yeah, to a
A6K
fan.
to a fan because it was in songs and people knew about it.
Bit iconic.
And yeah, but I thought I was being a good friend, but I was being a dumb friend, turns out.
Yeah, it seems that at some point there's an age where if you're really close friends get into a bind of not having a vehicle, that they may be a bit of their problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I still,
I know.
you got to let things go. But
Yeah, of course,
like
right?
just now, me thinking about that, it still baffles me as to, because he could have called me and said, hey, man, I'm giving it to a friend. Or, the weirdest thing would, obviously, if he called me and said, I'm selling it, I'd be like, dude, no, like that's
Yeah, give me
my
my truck
car.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
give it back if you're gonna make money out of it. Like that's not what I was trying to do. I thought you needed help, but yeah, I
Yeah,
lost
so
that friend.
I think my next vehicle plans, I've got a van I'll be building.
Oh yeah,
I've been borrowing one from a friend. It's fucking great. So I'm gonna build a
you
big
like
four-wheel
driving a
drive.
van?
It's fucking great. A big 4-wheel drive, like adventure van with like the bed in it and like camping shit.
Yeah, Katie talks about that all the time. About
Dude, it's
I was like,
fucking
I
rad.
would rent one, but I'm not gonna buy one. Like I don't
Well,
have
it
enough
won't
room
be
to
my
put it
daily.
anywhere.
Like I don't
Right?
plan to drive it every day. My daily driver is in the shop now getting drivable. Is a
Yeah.
64 El Camino.
Honestly, if I see, later on in life, depending on how things go, if the Jason Ellis show disappears, I'll do a show with Katie and build a studio in a van and drive around America or whatever. The
Fucking worst
sky's the
way to
limit.
live.
Yeah. Or just fly to other countries and do a podcast from
Yeah.
wherever we are. But right now, that's
Not the move yet.
not possible.
Yeah, don't make a mistake. I'm not trying to live in a van.
Right.
I just when I want to go adventure,
Right.
and like if I want to go mountain bike for a week or whatever like that, that thing's fucking great. And then the daily will be the El Camino, which is a fucking bitching car.
That sounds cool to me.
Oh man, Chickles.
No, this is
Oh,
Romeo.
you have a shit
Chickles.
ton of animals.
Yeah, well, we rescued 3 chihuahuas. I rescued Chickle like 8 years ago, 10, 2015. And that's the one with the crooked leg or
Hmm.
whatever. So we rescued him. And then when we moved to Hermosa, Katie was on Facebook and some girl was talking about her neighbor died, old man, and he had 2 chihuahuas. And the cops were like, we're just going to separate him and put him in the pound. So the lady was asking if there was anybody out there that would take care of both of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're little chihuahuas. And I really, because of Chickle, I became a fan of chihuahuas. And I was like, fuck yeah, we'll save him. And now here he is. He's getting fat because he's living a life of a rich man.
I got 2 fat ass cats.
Aren't you, Romy? Yeah. He's like, his, my daughter's friend came over to the and she's like, wow, Romy's getting thick. So he's enjoying life.
You mentioned you and Katie getting weird around the Porsche, and so I'll segue into sex questions.
Yeah. Sex questions. Here we go.
So now that you've upgraded, I don't know, upgraded, but at least expanded the world of what you're doing, right? Like, so if
upgraded is, I like
upgraded,
it.
upgraded.
Yeah. Depends on who you are, but some would
Sure.
disagree. But I think it's an upgrade for sure.
Look, I think whatever someone's into, that's it. Like, I don't fucking have any other feeling about it. Like, if everyone's on board, like, fucking let it rip.
Look, dude, the way I see it, if you want to get a motorcycle and you like to cruise at the speed limit with the wind on your face, cool. But some people want to ride a motorcycle and
Super fucking
do
fast.
170-foot triple, and you know what I mean, and push it to the limit. And that's how I am when it comes to sex stuff. Like, sure, I could just be in the dark and do missionary and finish it in 15 minutes and get on with my day, but I would prefer to, like,
Get
bang
loose.
somebody and get banged at the same time and eat a pussy and suck a dick all at the same time on ecstasy. That's what I would want to do.
Yeah, all right. So through this, as far as like other ways to like get off and pleasure, whether that's prostate stuff or shit, dudes don't do butt stuff, especially most straight dudes.
So stupid.
What
It's
are they
in
fucking
there.
missing out on? I know,
It's
look,
on
for me, I've been
everybody's
on
butt.
board a long fucking time.
Yeah. I mean, it's in there. It's in your ass. All straight dudes have it as well. So
As I say, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ didn't put nerve
yeah,
endings back there for me not to enjoy.
don't blame me. Yeah, he made it. So I feel like, there was obviously a barrier there for me for a long time. Even when I was openly bi, I still couldn't just put anything up there. It just didn't feel right. Felt uncomfortable. I didn't like it. And then I kind of pushed it to I was like, fuck it, I'll really try. I mean, even when it's not working out, I'll keep trying. Katie helped me. And then once that started to work and it didn't feel bad going in, because it used to just feel bad. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Like
You have like a butt Sherpa with Katie.
A little bit, yeah. I feel like you need somebody to hang out down there for a while. Like if you think you can do it in under 5 minutes, that's not how you do it. Take your time. And I feel like once I got past all that, I mean, the first time I ever finished from that, I told myself, like, thank God. I mean, I know I'm older, but I still
like full hands free, like fucking.
I'm like, how could somebody not do this? Like if you enjoy orgasms,
yeah, if you like,
like if you haven't done it, then you haven't lived. Like you're missing out on a giant piece of things that involve that.
Yeah, like I would say I've dabbled a bit, but I've definitely never like hands free. Which that's one of those things that blows my fucking mind.
Hey, I'm gonna go outside. Right. Food's at the door, kitty. You want to tell Tiggy? I think I'm just gonna go in the sauna to discuss my coming stories.
Sorry.
It's all right.
It's a lot. It's a lot for a Saturday morning around the house.
It's too much for a 13-year-old boy, I'll tell you that.
I fucking bet it is. He has no idea.
He probably does.
Probably. I can't imagine growing up like I'm the last generation of people that had like a full analog childhood without the internet.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure he's well aware of all everything. That stuff. I mean, I've also obviously told him that, I'm bi and
yeah, of course,
and active. So
yeah,
he knows. He's been picked on at school for it. So we've been through a lot with that stuff.
That's a lot. That's and those are fucking challenges I never had to deal with.
Yeah, me neither. But also I just feel like it's a harsh way to understand, but he understands that bullying people for their sexual preferences is pretty stupid and mean and it hurts people. So I think he understands that and hopefully would not do that to somebody else because he's seen his dad go through it.
Yeah, right on. I think experience and empathy are big fucking parts of becoming good people.
Yeah. So that's, I think in a roundabout way, it's a good thing.
Right on. Now, poppers. This is something I got fucking introduced to poppers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe last year while I was in Iceland. One of my buddies, he and his chick, he's like, you guys mess with Rush. I guess that's what they call it.
That's a cheap shit.
Okay. And so I'm like, what the fuck's that? So he explains.
Rush is a brand.
Yeah, it just comes in the bottle, inhale it, right?
Yeah.
So I picked some up.
It's a record cleaner.
It's a fucking game changer.
You gotta watch it. Don't do too much of that shit. It'll fuck with your heart.
Really?
If you do a boner pill,
yeah,
and that stuff, there's like you can end up in the ER.
No fucking way.
Yeah, it says it on it says it on the on boner pill bottles now. Don't do poppers when you use this.
All right. I don't feel like I've ever been in danger. But all right, good to know.
Yeah, it depends on how you do it. You know what I mean? Like you get it going and you're like, man, this shit rules. And then you just start hawking on it like a fucking madman.
Uh,
That
I
is
would
not
say
good
my
for you.
normal move is like there's a fucking point of no return, right? That like you're gonna be reaching the finish line and come at some point here in the future.
Yeah.
So that's about when I would just like 2 or 3, and then it's pretty much just fucking blast off to another universe for a bit.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I feel like yeah, depend because I got there's like a bunch of different ones that do good, better, or worse. Some give you headaches, stuff like that. So depends on which ones you have now. I'm a little bit picky,
Okay.
but
Become a connoisseur. Like same with like Tony.
yeah,
You
because
know,
there's like a white label one. Can't remember the name of it, but it's just that it's 1,000 times better. You take a sniff of it and you say to yourself, what was I doing with this other shit? That's what it's so much stronger and so much
Send
more
me a link.
effective. It kind of to me it kind of separates the world from fucking. Like I don't care what I look like, what they look like. I'm just purely in the moment.
Full lizard brain.
Right. And that, depends on who you're boning, like sometimes for some weird reason, straight sex, it's usually like at the end you do it and everybody comes while they're on poppers. But in the gay scene, and I'm not saying this is for everybody, I'm just saying I've found that in the gay scene, sex usually goes a lot longer.
Okay.
Which means that that bottle gets passed around a lot. So it's more of like every couple of minutes you take another whiff and you proceed to do whatever it is you're doing.
Well, I think there's a difference, right? And like, are you fucking to come, or are you?
Yeah,
fucking?
right. Yeah, which
And
is
like,
that's the thing. I think guys, they feel so good. Yeah, I feel like the more I hate saying this, but the gay sex thing. Sometimes I can get in a pocket where I could come at any second, but I can hold it. So I just stay in this zone of ecstasy, I guess. Like I feel like I'm about to
sure.
come for half an hour.
Holy shit.
And you can just ride it. Like you just ride the pocket where you could go full blast right now and come in the next 20 seconds, or you can stay right where you are. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh, slow down just a little bit, and then stay there where I'm like, I can still come whenever I want to right now.
How would you
And just stay
translate
in
that to straight sex?
it. Well, vaginas, you got to get lube involved if you're going to go for over half an hour. Like they get
Yeah.
sore.
Sure, but there's
So
toys and hands and like fucking
yeah, but
vaginas and other shit to play with.
yeah, okay, well, yeah, but I'm talking about if you're going to fuck somebody for a half an hour.
Yeah.
If you got lube and it's an asshole, you can go for hours. If it's a
Okay.
vagina, you got to
they
keep
wear out.
adding stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's just it gets dried up, and I feel like it's more about positions. It's more about I find if there's somebody else there, like if it's a group thing, it's way easier to go way longer, to the point where I've always felt like if a group thing, somebody pops in the first 15 minutes in a group thing, I'm like, you're out. Like
You've ruined your night.
you're out of this team. Like
Yeah,
this
you just
will
have to
never
fucking
happen
hang
again.
out for the next fucking
That's
5
not
hours.
how you do it. You don't do that. You wait till you go at least an hour, and then if there's a girl there, then she pops first, then you give them whatever it is. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's more about not trying to ram it home. Like I feel like it's more of a
Enjoying the game.
yeah, like you get into a bit of a rhythm, and
Okay.
and I don't know, because sometimes I have kids. Sometimes I have sex where you don't have much time.
Yeah.
So you have a quick one, and there's like you get it in there, a little bit of foreplay, and then you pump enough to get it done, and then you both get the
Move on
fuck
with your
out of
life.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm more into like just a bit slower and a more foreplay these days than ever. I feel like my BDSM schooling has come into play now. Like
Schooling.
like a lot of like pleasure and pain, you know, where I'm like tickly and like foot touching and arm rubbing and stuff. Because girls really, you know, they when you trigger a bunch of different stuff around the body, girls appreciate that more. Like if you touch their hair or you breathe into their ear while you're touching the inner thigh, like, or not just going straight for the pussy, fucking around the outside of them for a little bit, like till they want you to put it on there. All those things, because girls are just more complicated. You need to, if you really understand them and feel what they're feeling, and you can give them exactly what they want, and then they change. They give up and stop worrying about what it is they might look like from upside down or whatever. You know, I mean, they just go into it, and then that's why I feel like those poppers sometimes really help that. Like if we just start, and then I'm like, here, just sniff this for a second. They're like, what? I'm like, just sniff it. And then they're like, oh my God. And then right when that kicks in, get something going. Yeah. So they don't come out of it. Just keep them in that zone where they're like, what
the whole fucking universe is just right here.
Yeah.
Now that's the fucking best. Like there's so many varieties of ways to fucking come. Like, hey, some of them, there's definitely times it's comings of maintenance. Like this needs to get out so I can fucking clear my head again and think straight. It's a goddamn poison over too long.
Yep. Seriously.
And then there's other times it's like, hey, what do you have going on tomorrow afternoon? Like you have like 4 or 5 hours to like play. Like that's fucking way more.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like I have both of those. It's my birthday this weekend, and I have Lee Raven is a friend of mine, and we were trying to do a Tensum last year, and
a Tensum,
a bunch of shit. Yeah, but I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to do that, and this time Lee talked to a bunch of girls and a couple of trans girls and a couple of guys, and I hit up a couple of guys, and Katie hit up a couple of girls, and now it kind of looks like, because Katie rented this crazy house. I'll show you the photo of it. Right. So we're actually going there today. Like I'm dropping Tiger off, and then I'm going to this.
Yeah, I will quit wasting your fucking time talking to me.
It's in Bel Air, and it's like all glass and like pool and fire pits and just fucking like it's the most. I mean, like you would never afford it. You would never afford it.
Yeah. Well, it's fucking $300 in that life. Like,
check it out. They charge Katie $300 a day to heat the pool. $300 to heat a pool for one day, dude. That's how expensive this house is.
Good for them.
Yeah. So, but all these people are coming, and I'm like, to me, it's almost like there's a skateboard contest on this weekend.
Yeah, dude. That what a fucking cool feeling. Like you're ready to fucking perform.
Yeah, like I've been snacking less at night. Like you know what I mean, I've been working on my cardio.
I fucking love it, dude. I fucking think that's the fucking funniest shit.
I've been
ever.
Jumping rope with the intention to fuck good, not to fight good. Like total different way of jumping rope. So weird. Like the whole time I'm thinking like, yeah, man, he might get a little tired from underneath. So what? You keep fucking going, lift her up, fucking keep everybody up. Just getting ready for it.
Oh fuck! I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it. You're the first person I've told because I don't want to jinx it. But
no, I'm sure, dude. Getting that many people to show up to a thing on the same day is a fucking disaster.
Yeah, and everyone's going to get tested, you know, like
because
you know, and most of them are professionals
in the biz.
Yeah, but some of the guys that I know, they're like, "Whoa, man, I can't get tested in one day," and I'm like, "Yes, you can, dude." Like, I do stuff on OnlyFans, but I don't have to do stuff on OnlyFans. I just go to this one place that all my friends go to, and I say I want to get a panel because I'm a professional, and they give you the blood test and they give you the results the next day. I think it costs like $250 or something like that, but so I have to tell these people to go there because gay boys are a little nastier, man. They're like, I haven't had sex with anybody for like a week. I'm fine. I'm like, I feel like you're not understanding what I said.
Right.
You need to get a test and show us the test, or it is not fucking happening. Like, It's not gonna. May as well let Jimmy go and buy it. Like, if everyone else had to get a test, Jimmy has to get a test too.
Well, I can. Just because I understand dudes, I can understand the gay world getting really fucking rowdy.
if you're into sex, if you're a horny guy, you can understand what it's like to be a gay guy, because
Well,
it's
the
like,
barrier
could
has
I go
always
down the
been
road?
someone interested to actually fuck us who's female.
Imagine if girls were into guys like guys are into girls. That's what it's like being at a gay bar. Like,
I
it's
know
on.
they think they do. Like, and I've met some
Oh no,
fucking,
they do.
I've met
but
some
there's like
great fucking horny women.
I think there's more of a barrier of, I think a lot of guys wouldn't mind making out with a guy every now and then, or definitely wouldn't mind getting sucked off by a guy every now and then. Doesn't make you gay, but if someone finds out that you did that, then you're going to be labeled as gay. Same as if a girl's at a club and she likes a guy and she like starts rubbing his dick in the first 5 minutes and people see it, well, she's a fucking whore. And nobody, you can say you don't care and you don't answer to anybody, but you fucking do. Everybody does. If everyone's like, ew, you're a fucking nasty whore, that doesn't feel good. So
No, it's not cool.
we try to avoid that. I don't blame anybody for that. But that is that's the difference. I can tell, because it's like people are like, man, you kind of gross. You talk about fucking all the time. And I'm like, yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do. Do you want to hear more about it? I'll tell you some stuff. Like,
yeah, I've lost interest in a lot of things through life. Like, things have come and gone.
Yeah.
Boobs and cookies.
Yeah, right.
All the way.
Yeah. Yeah. They've never been like, you know what? I just don't need that anymore. That one's always been a top priority. And then the more I've worked on the BDSM stuff and hanging out with some people that have a lot of kinks and learning about their kinks, the power control and like cutting and pee. Like I drink pee now.
Oh man.
Yeah, Katie peed in my mouth the other day while I peed in a guy's mouth. She got on a ladder and peed off the ladder into my mouth.
Yeah, I was immediately going to say, like, well, I mean, squirt's got whatever that is, right? Yeah. But I guess like saying stand up there and piss on me from a distance is a different move.
It's not dehydrated pee. We drink lots of water before we do it, and it's really not that bad. I can barely tell. I'm just drinking it. But the last time I did it, it was in the MMA room, and I didn't want to spill that much pee. And she had a lot. She drank a lot of water, and I was like, I remember like swallowing a giant mouthful and looked at her, and she was like, "Wow," because usually I'll spit out a little bit, but that I was like, man, I don't need a drink of water for like an hour. I'm like, I'm super hydrated on your pee.
Oh man, yeah. The pee.
That's happening this week. That's happening this weekend too. Lee has been talking about Kate. She's going to pee. Katie's going to pee in Lee's butt, and then Lee's going to pee in my balls and drink it out of there like a cup.
I guess I don't know what it is. Like, none of that to me is like holy. Like, I may not,
and we'll be laughing,
but like I'm just like, God damn it! The more you're into, like, the more options you have.
Yeah,
like fucking everything's fun. Why can't?
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. We will be laughing hysterically when that's all happening, and that is, I'm sorry, but I think it's unfortunate because I'm obviously in a lucky situation, but it's hard for me to be entertained by the new, you know what I mean, the new album from Who Gives a Fuck. Like when I know that what a really good Saturday would be is, you know what I mean, somebody pees in somebody's butt. And I stand there and go, "Oh my God!"
I don't disagree with you though, man.
Yeah. Like, some people do, Matt.
Yeah, fucking,
and that's totally fun.
Yeah, they're welcome to. I think they should try more things. Fucking get weirder.
That's all I'm saying, man. If you got people that are agreeing to it, you're both enjoying yourselves. I just don't have a beef with any of it, and I don't understand how somebody can look at it differently. It's like, you know, you're really into your car, or you don't want to give up your cargo shorts. I think you're fucking weird for that, you know. But you're weird. You think I'm out of the line for drinking some pee out of somebody's butt? Like, let me live, you know.
I feel weirder that if I wanted to do that and I chose not to, was because of some sort of shame involved with a visible guy in the sky.
That's a really good point.
Fucking way weirder to me than like,
because if he's supposed to be this guy and you go up there and he goes, "Nah, you fucking drank pee out of someone's butt," I'd be like, dude, I don't want to hang out with you anyway.
Right.
Like, anybody who's against
I just can't back the whole. I have this great place for you to go, and it's welcome for you. You can have it, and it's everything you'd ever want. I just need you to say you love me. It's not a big deal. You can come right in. Everyone's here. You'll love it, but say you
Yeah.
love me first.
I think that's, people fear death so much that they're willing to believe anything because you can trick yourself into thinking, when the darkness comes, off you go to the happy place, and it's definitely a cooler way to live your last few moments of your life. I totally understand it. I've had death knock on the door a couple of times, and I've definitely the first couple of times I looked at the sky and I was like, if you can help me, but
Yeah.
then I'm older and I've been through a lot more, and now when it's happened and I'm looking at the roof, I've been like, it's have you done enough? I mean, did you kick ass? That's the question I ask myself now, and the answer is not yet. I have not done enough yet. It's not bad. I would not say that I was a ripped off person if I died today, but I definitely have
Well, if you got more time,
I
you're
got
gonna do
big
more.
plans, man. I got big plans. I feel like I feel like the comedy thing's going to turn into a big thing, which is going to make the podcast bigger. There's going to be like a TV thing or something's going to happen where I make a big name for myself, and I keep talking about the things I talk about to free these other people that live my life, like all these straight guys that are a little bit gay that are hiding and drinking too much because of it, or taking drugs, or committing suicide, OD, all this other stuff, being terrible to other people because they're, they're not getting it out. I could actually help millions of people before I die. And if that happens and the heart gives out, I'll be like, I will fucking be laughing.
Well, man, look, if it comes as anything, I've found you to be a huge inspiration for trying to be honest to who you are. And
Trying.
it fucking means a lot. Like that. I mean, I think all you can do is the best you can do. Right. And
right.
As you time and age, like I don't really want to fucking hang out with 30-year-old me anymore. And I sure as fuck don't want to hang out with 25-year-old me. And like, I hope you fucking feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to remember that because we're not 25, but I think that's a good thing to remember because sometimes people say such stupid shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you fucking say that? And I'm like, dude, don't try and tell yourself that you haven't said stuff just as dumb when you were 25. You gotta let people figure it out,
And if nothing else, I try to really look at it as like, just try to be the example of the better side, to be like, I'm not fucking giving you access to my fucking energy, bud. You're a 25-year-old ding dong. You don't even understand what you're saying.
Right.
I'll just be the cooler side of this.
I got a DM this morning. I showed Katie before I deleted it, but because there's a video going on around right now. I was on this podcast and they asked me about the gay stuff, and I was saying, I lost a lot of fans. A lot of people messaged me how disappointed they were. They thought I was this, but now it turns out I'm that. So it kind of like triggers people again when any of that stuff goes out there, because I've been through this several times now. And then that video is on Instagram, and now people message me and go, so for real, do you take a dick in your ass, or do you just suck dick? And do you even like women anymore? And I'm like, you're probably, like 25. You probably are thinking about maybe sucking a dick, and it scares the shit out of you. So you're attacking me.
Yeah.
It's not I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that these days because it's part of it. I've also received, because of this video, like hundreds of people saying, I mean, I'm not out yet, but I fucking really appreciate you being like a straight kind of masculine man who admits that he does that. And and all those ones, those are the ones that I'm talking about. Like when I die, I'm gonna be good with it, because that's like I don't have an education. I'm not really that nice of a person, and I've done this great thing where people have, their life has changed for the better.
Well, at least you showed them an
just
open
fucking
door,
crazy.
right? That like, hey, you can live this way, by the way. You don't have to fucking play by these preset rules that you think that matter, because none of them do.
Yeah, but if nobody tells you,
I know.
you don't see somebody doing it, and the most important thing about it is doing it with a smile on your face. If I'm doing this every day and I'm just struggling, because I have lately, not because of that, but I've just been struggling with a bunch of different changes and worried about the future, like because there's a very insecure person that always lives inside me that you are a piece of shit, you're useless, fat, old, I mean, nobody cares about you anymore, you're a has-been, you're a homo. Like I hear it all the time.
Yeah, I got the same voice.
Right, I think we all do. It just depends on how loud it is and how much you
choose to
listen to it. Yeah, so to me it's all about building up the other voice that tells that voice to fuck itself. You know what I mean? Like I hear somebody else go, yeah, right. Like, dude, you think about how many things you've done in your life at a high level. Like, you're fucking gnarly. Like, whatever you want to do, you'll do it.
And you can't.
I try to listen to that guy way more.
Especially like I try to remind myself too, because trying to get better at everything, business and fucking your job and athletic and maintain and do whatever else you want. Like, it's stress, and you're trying to adapt to get better at it.
Yeah.
But I always have time to remember like the gratitude for just like, my lifestyle now that this is what it is. Same for you, right? Like of people on earth. And especially if we look at history, we're in the fucking top 0% of people's like lifestyle that they'll ever get to live.
Yeah.
Like there isn't better than this. It's just more.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do.
That definitely helps me. Like,
I'm 51 on the weekend, and I'm gonna do a sex caterpillar. It's like my 25-year-old self would be like, dude, you're the coolest old man ever. I'm like,
dude, I think about that recently. Like, with what I do for a living now, between traveling and getting to design clothing and run the company and podcast or do any of this shit. I'm like, okay, so I'm still tour managing for a band. Essentially, I get to fuck off and do that. I'm still designing apparel and selling merch for bands. And like, oh yeah, fucking 21-year-old me is probably still pretty stoked on how this looks.
Yeah.
How this looks.
Fuck yeah, he is. You've never been cooler, dude.
No, this is the fucking best it's ever been.
Yeah.
Hope that I can say that in another fucking 10 years.
As long as you don't hit your head so hard you forgot what the plan was, I don't think you'd be worried. You should be worried.
I've maintained staying away from things that are too much head trauma, other than at some point I really do want to take an Ellis Mania fight. Like I'd fucking love it.
Well, if you don't fight in April, that's it. I'm done.
That's the one.
Yeah, I'm making a big announcement at Ellis Mania where, where one door closes, another one opens. So I had a big meeting with some comedy people yesterday, and I'm like setting up a big plan for transitioning from one thing into another and making that other thing heavy. So people are like, man, no more Ellis Manias, we can't hang out. I'm like, that's not necessarily the case. Something else is going to happen, and it's going to be it makes more sense, like getting into your 50s. Like I feel like at this point I've hit my head so much that it's one more isn't going to fucking hurt it. But the rest of the people out there, like I don't want to make them do it anymore. Like I feel like, if you've been listening to me for the last 20 years, then that means you've got kids probably. Yeah. And you're like 50 and fucking we shouldn't be doing this anymore. So I'm going to hang them up after this fight with Lewis and then get into, still entertaining and doing live shows, just not that one.
Well, but I'm sure the comedy thing, dude, if it doesn't spark that same...
It totally does.
Fucking perform.
Totally does. It means everything to me. I'm so desperate to figure it out. I want to figure it out. I don't know shit right now.
Of course.
I just got to really practice and really, watch, learn. I keep trying to I feel like a writer now, like where I just sort of walk around and I fucking am like, write something funny right now in your brain, you know what I mean? Like without an actual premise or anything. I just stand there sometimes and go,
be funny.
Fuck, come on, where is it? Where's the fucking... So, two ladies walking, like I don't have any...
Oh, man.
It has happened to me like 2 times, and then I write it down in the phone. I'm like, no way, I just wrote a joke. Like, and they're not that funny, so I got to work on them.
Well, it's just like fucking starting as an athlete.
Yeah.
Same rules apply.
Yeah, less pain.
Cool, I gotta show up for 10 years.
Yeah. Yep.
So what it fucking takes.
Yeah. So got a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Well, look, brother, I'm gonna let you roll. Enjoy what sounds like an incredible fucking birthday.
Yep. I
I
will.
hope it's everything I hope it is.
Me too.
God damn it. Fucking living in a fun life, my friend.
I'll send you photos.
Appreciate that. I appreciate
Not
that.
those photos, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
Just
sure.
of the house and shit.
Oh, whatever.
Maybe some butt cheeks. We'll check it out.
I'll return. Oh, by the way, I started my OnlyFans as I just had a fucking minute where I kept feeling like there was something else getting a vote besides did I want to do it?
Yeah.
So I fucking started one. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't fucking care.
With your chick?
No, it's just me.
Wow.
If she wants to start one, she's more than welcome. I don't have any feelings about it.
Okay.
But like, there was definitely part of it of like, you say you're all right with that. How do you fucking feel about it? And I got done wondering. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it.
I'm on Twitter, fucking a trans guy.
That's out there.
Nobody said anything to me about it.
Dude, I think there's something to just revealing of like all these limitations, no matter what it is, people put on themselves of like everything's gonna blah blah blah. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. No one gives a shit.
Yeah. I don't think it makes a difference to who I am, you know?
Right. I think Adam 22, No Jumper, they're doing just fine despite having as much online as anyone else. Yeah, and like fucking good for them.
Yep.
I fucking love people that don't let anyone else get a vote in how they live their fucking life.
They're kicking ass, dude. That thing makes money.
Fuck yeah, they are. Mine doesn't. Yeah. My OnlyFans is not.
Yeah, me too. I haven't actually promoted mine once because I'm not ready for that yet.
It's in the link in my bio on my Instagram. Fuck it.
Ooh, that's pretty ballsy. Okay.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? I mean, look, I'm not beating my dick on it or anything. It's basically me with my ass out.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. Exactly.
Yeah, look, I'm also aware of what this has to go to if I want it to make money. I get that.
Yeah.
Because I also know my clientele ain't female.
That's how it escalates, Matt. That's what happened to me. Just a couple of butt cheeks. Next thing you know, asshole penis videos.
There you go. We'll see where it goes.
All right, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks.
Have a great day. I appreciate it.
You too.
Later, brother.
Love you, mate.